Hey guys, so this video is about some lessons that I've learned throughout my training and life actually in general. So I was just in a case with one of the learning anesthesia students, and we were doing a simple case. And with intubation, what happens is that there's your goal is to get the endotracheal tube into the trachea with intubation, but sometimes inadvertently, accidentally, there is something called an esophageal intubation. What that means is that the endotracheal tube goes into the esophagus, and that's not good, and that's not what we are desiring, but yet it's something that happens sometimes. And we troubleshooted it and we're successful overall. And what really caught my attention on this, and what I really wanted to speak about, is that the student was so hard on herself afterwards, and was so dismayed at the fact that she did that. And she said to me that, Dr. Chaudry, I did like 300 intubations in a row previous to this, and they all went fine. I just don't know what happened here, and things of that nature, and what she was saying. And my response to that is that this will happen throughout your entire career if you're doing anesthesia, that esophageal intubations, inadvertent things of that nature will always happen. And no matter how experienced and skilled you are in your career, and where you are in your career, whether you're in the beginning or towards the end of your career, this is something that will happen. And I think that it's important, a few points important to remember. Number one is not to be hard on yourself. Yes, it's good to remain and keep those standards for yourself, to have high standards and high expectations for yourself, but don't let that be a detriment to your learning experience, to your confidence, to your self-esteem, to your propensity to go do it again. And what I think is that I'll ask everybody here is like, what makes a good driver, a car driver? It's not someone who can get in the car and go from the front of the driveway to the back of the driveway. It's not the person who can go from one city to another city. A lot of people can operate a car and do that. They can drive and get to that point, but are they a good driver? And what does a good driver mean? To me, that means someone who can troubleshoot, who can recognize adverse events, someone switching into your lane, a cone or something, or a deer jumping out. How well can you manage yourself in those situations? How well can you manage the situation? How can you troubleshoot and go down an algorithm throughout of, okay, well, this didn't work. What can I do next? What are my options? What are the possibilities here? And what's the best course of action to take? And that's something that develops through time and through repetition, doing it over and over and over again. You don't become a good driver in a week. It takes years to become really to that level of expertise of being able to avoid catastrophe, disasters, and avoiding these things. And even when you do encounter them, to be making decisions very quickly that will help guide you. And the same goes for intubation skills, is that someone who can do them a dozen, 20, even 300 times doesn't make you a great intubation person or great at that procedure. What makes you great, what makes you good, is being able to recognize when you did it wrong, being able to recognize that it's not in the trachea, being able to troubleshoot and think, what can I do differently? Do I need to maneuver the head differently? Do I need to use a different a laryngoscope blade? Do I need to position differently? Do I need other tools? Do I need a glide scope or a video laryngoscope, right? Being able to call for help when you need it, being able to maneuver all these things. That's what makes you good, is being able to know how to handle these things. Because saying to yourself, oh my God, I did this and I'm a bad, I'm bad at intubation now, that's not the correct way to think about it. And you'll destroy your self-esteem. You'll destroy your self-thinking, and in your own head, you'll get into your own head. And what that's going to do is it's going to cloud your judgment the next time you do it and the next time, and you're going to to set yourself up for failure in a lot of ways. And I think it's just important for everybody to remember that these things happen, and to just continue through them, plow through them, and remain confident, remain focused, remain energized in that whole process and procedure and whatever you do in life.